Usually my opening paragraph to my best and worst movie of the year video is committed to me explaining how I use the Christmas period as an excuse to weld myself to a nail tap, but truth be told it's early October at time of writing. Reason being is that the gap between uploading my Bodies review and Halloween Ends' release date felt like a fathomless chasm, and I almost succumbed to boredom. It got really bad, you guys. So bad to the point where I was seriously considering sorting my life out, but then again I quickly realised the futility of participation in that unwinnable war, so I decided to scribble down this guff and animate myself in a dapper as fuck tuxedo. As I was bearing witness to the Northman's trailer back in December 2021, I soon realised that it had the potential to be my movie of the year, and when my viewing came around it was all but confirmed before even getting halfway through its healthily paced 136-minute runtime. In truth, it was kind of a gimme, as I love all things Norse. Seriously, I'm balls deep into this shit, man. The culture, music, artwork, mythology, paganism, and everything in between is held very dear to me. My flesh is inked with Nordic runes, and the shield featured in the picture that's got proper fuck all to do with the film was made by my fair hands. In short, I've got a hard-on for Vikings that's more blatant than Liz Truss's incompetence. Of course, the Northman hasn't been handed this piece of silverware just by humouring my heathenry hard-on. No, sir, there are so many more aspects that also must be up to snuff in the name of earning such an accolade, and by Odin's beard does it deliver. Aesthetically speaking, it's sublime. The beautifully bleak landscapes are captured marvellously by exceptional cinematography and perfect utilization of the color palette, with beautiful visuals filling in the gaps. The set and costume design corresponds very well with the aforementioned scenery. Instead of the ostentatious vibe that accompanied previous depictions of Vikings, you get a more realistic image regarding how the Scandinavians presented themselves back then, and the exact same thing could be said about how the hair and makeup is illustrated. The soundtrack couldn't be more complimentary. Yes, it lacks the impact that comes with the titans of the Nordic folk genre, and in my eyes this is a good thing, because if, say, Wardruna or Heilung were brought in to helm the OST, it would overshadow whatever is happening on screen, in spite of me theorising that the Northman would still be epic even if musicless. With that said though, I am happy Robin Carolan and Sebastian Gainsborough were hired for composing, because not only have they written a score I found to be a pleasant experience outside of the movie, they've also weaved it into the visuals so brilliantly it's almost more fitting than how I thought a PlayStation 5 would be for the PlayStation 5 shaped void haunting my happiness. The acting with the aid of a solid script is on point. Each member of the cast commands screen presence, and it felt like they were working as a collective to achieve something truly special as opposed to competing for a spotlight, although MVP does go to Alexander Skarsgård. Fuck me, what a performance. His emotional aura is equally potent to his physical ambience. You can feel every shred of whatever emotion he is projecting, as well as each ounce of punishment inflicted and received, which brings us to the action. Fucking brutal. And what I liked about it the most is that it's gritty, not flashy, which mirrors the Northman's overall atmosphere perfectly, especially the kill that inspires your face to clench up tighter than my arsehole whenever I play Dark Souls. The Northman is clearly a labour of love, and alas, movies like this are seldom made. It didn't perceive to be a project driven by profit, but a passionate tribute to the legend of Amleth, which sadly shows in the box office take, but it gladdens me to say the loss was made up for via video on demand. Regardless, anyone who has a mild interest in anything Viking should absolutely give this a Jormungandr, as it's a fucking masterpiece. Get it? Jormungandr? The great sea serpent in Norse mythology, and gander means to look, so it's clever. Honestly, I don't trust you to understand this intellectual hilarity without an explanation, so fuck you. Remember earlier on I mentioned that as the Northman's trailer was unravelling before my eyes, I knew it had the potential to feature in this video? Well, the exact same thing can be said about Morbius, but with an undertone more negative than the comments written by my would-be Twitch chat. So you know those in association with Marvel films that Sony frequently spunks out that are predominantly terrible but no fucks given, because everyone involved is aware that profit will be made regardless of quality, as every installment's trailer is designed to inject the fanbase with a serious case of FOMO, and thus will attend a screening on the off chance it features some MCU canon. Yeah, in my eyes that's exploitation, and Morbius is the worst example of this, because its contribution to fan service is extremely comparable to how much hope my cock has bestowed upon the abstinence movement. Marvel bollocks aside, the movie would still be sitting between the two shit trophies. A soulless script combined with unimaginative cinematography and a generic sound soundtrack all make for an abhorrent viewing experience. The acting frustrated me as the wonderful talents of Matt Smith weren't utilised, and Jared Leto's performance was unnecessarily restrained, giving me the impression he had no passion towards the character or was simply a bad choice for the role, which isn't an impossibility considering his past contributions to the superhero genre. As you may have guessed, none of these qualities, for lack of a better word, are not made up for in the action segments. For the most part, they're over-zoomed flesh blurs rolling over each other, not to mention goreless as fuck, which is felonious for a rated 15 vampire movie. Seriously, there's a drastic vacancy of blood, despite many moments occurring that would insinuate the surroundings to be glazed in hemoglobin, but alas, after the fact, each area hosting the combats looked like it had been attended to by a horde of coked-up housekeepers. Also, I understand that our protagonist relies on blood or a worthy substitute to function, but did he really have to consume it in the exact same over-exaggerated fashion every fucking time? I swear emphatically my cravings for alcohol far outweighs any dependence he possesses, but will you ever see me urgently tearing off the lid with my own face, ensuring that sweet nectar makes it to my throat slightly sooner than usual? Fuck no, I prefer to inject the besim into my scrotum so it'll enter my system quicker because science. Not too far into Morbius's 104 minutes duration, I realised what it is. It's a shit underworld movie with a bigger budget than any of the chapters from that series, yet somehow looked cheaper and more dated despite being significantly younger than the final offering titled Blood Wars, which was released back in 2016. Oh, and it goes without saying that Jared Leto isn't Kate Beckinsale. If you don't believe me, just ask any pack of Kleenex that attended my pubescent years. In conclusion, once again, the film industry supplied some equilibrium to an otherwise crazy year. It provided us with The Northman, a true work of art that should be studied by all students of the medium as an example of how to do this shit correctly. It also gave us Morbius, an atrocity in every way, and so fraudulent to the point that every time someone financially contributes to it, the cutest puppy you've ever seen gets sodomized by a dozen blister beetles stapled to a splintery kendo stick.